Good night of Shabbos, Parshas Vayakil. Yum bum bum. It's Shabbos Shkulim also this week. This week is Shabbos Shkulim. Yeah, so we have Vayakil, we have Shabbos Shkulim. So what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? The shekel, the machzah shekel. So Chassidus asks a question. It always says Vayomer Moshe, Vaydaber. Always says Vayomer when he talks to the Yidden, but now this week it says Vayakil Moshe. Why Vayakil? So Vayakil is called Adas. I'm sorry, Vayakil Moshe is called Adas. Not Adas. It's called Adas. Vayakil Moshe is called Adas B'nai Yisrael. Adas is Das. It's the same words as Das. Das is presence, which means that there is Vayomer, there is saying where he says a message, absorbing it in whatever you are, taking it in, whatever place you're at, wherever you're at on the igul, on the strings. Whatever string you're at, you take in the Vayomer, and then comes Vayakel. When it comes to Das, it's a magnetic field. It's bringing back all the koiches, all the energies, bringing back the energies, bringing back the nefesh, bringing it back to the center. So we have Kisisa. Kisisa Suraj, where you pick up your head. Machzas HaShekel. What does that mean? What does that mean? Don't have a chumash over for Kisisa. Well, what does it mean? The Machzas HaShekel is by giving half. By giving half means by putting in the hand to the center, saying, I'm in. That is, what are we talking about? We're talking about where do you want to be present when it comes to Vayakil Kisisa, by Machzas HaShekel. It's all connected. Where do you want to be? How do you give half? Where is your half? How are you giving your half? How does one give half? Back in the day, they would put a Machzas HaShekel into the English, into the pushka, but this now you don't have it. So how do I give half? I give half by showing up. I give half by claiming the identity. Who am I? Benayid. Kabbalah soil, tapping into that. Yeah, the tree of knowledge, the Itzadas, is also so in a Sikha, talking about it this week. Feeling it in the body. That's the Itzadas Toivera. And the tikkun for that is, one is Kabbalah's oil. One is Kabbalah's oil and just doing, and the other one is Amunah, I think. I can't look it up right now. It's going to take too long. But we're talking about Das. So I was thinking about Das. What is, if you want to needle point into something that is directly attacking the Das, directly occupying Das, that would be something that we hold in front of our faces, and it's directly in communication with the Das, and that is the phone. As we look, it absorbs the brain, it absorbs the whole mind, and now with the 5G and 6G, whatever it is, means that the flash of that goes literally into the veins. It sends a message into the veins, and by shutting off the phone, as we said many times, by shutting off the phone, even on plane mode, it's still there, because this is just a plastic that is transmitting and transmitting the makiv. It's translating the makiv. So you have the mamala, which is the object, which is the transmitter, which is just a square. It's called a phone. It's really a transmitter. You're holding your hand, the transmitter. It's just a you're making the calls in it, but it's transmitting constantly because it keeps your DAS fully flashed and occupied, and that is a party holding down the neck. That is him holding down the neck, where you have it's from with the Kesher film. It keeps you occupied. It keeps you full. The DAS is fully connected wherever you are. Whatever you are, the DAS is fully connected there. And yeah, not to elaborate, because we're touching this for real. Like, what does it mean? What is really happening? What is this technology? What is it here? What is it doing? But since we know that everything is we got to bring the light into it, there's a message and everything, there's a learning. Since we are, we did enter that space. So now we know that there is a Ra, but there's also a Toiv in there somewhere. But before the Eitz Hadas, we weren't aware of the Toiv. The Toiv wasn't so powerful, wasn't so toikiv, because it was just Gan Eden. It was all Ruach, it was sweet, it was, it was Gan Eden. It was very chill. But now by going the Toiv Ra, when the Ra is triggering, this powerful Ra is triggering a very powerful Toiv. So we know that this transmitter, which is literally a transmitter, it's a light, it's a strong light. It's in the face. It lights up the third eye. It lights up the back, the Kesher film, the Das, the top of the spine, which is connected to the luz. So it occupies that whole thing, and it distracts, a very powerful distracting light that doesn't allow one to find his identity, which means to be present with yourself. Instead you're present somewhere out from yourself. Your attention is distracted. It's out there. Vayakal Moshe's Kol Hadas, this week we're going, after you do the Machzas HaShekel, you give your half, your 10%. Give your half, you give your 10% by showing up to your identity, to showing up to who you are, or whatever that means. I'm not getting into Mashalom right now. Giving your half in tzedakah, in whatever part you feel that you've given a piece, that you have, you feel what you're doing, and you're giving yourself to it, whatever that means to you, relationship or whatever it is. That then goes into Vayakel, which Das gets collected back after Kesisa Sherish. Once you do that, your head will be picked up. Your Keser, your crown will be picked up. That is Das. And when that happens, and that's also Purim. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with Matchat Tzadik, Das, Yisoid, same thing. So, yeah. That's how they picked up, going into. So that right there is an absolute trigger to where you need to be. As I was talking about going into Luz, and that is Beis Hamikdash Rashlishi, according to the Heilige Yisurim. That's what they're talking about entering that space, entering the space of Vayakel, going into Das Elyon, and through the trigger. I know I lost the train of thought there, but I think it's fine anyway. So if I come back, it comes back. If not, we're good. So yeah, going into the Kesser, going into Das. So the transmitter is here to wake you up, to wake us up to that place, going into being centered, to being aligned with the Das. It's a strong flasher. It's a strong. It's what's communicating with the message. It's what's receiving. Remember something. This Das is you have the old films where there was pixels, and there were 5 million pixels in a second, whatever the number is, and then you have then we went better grade, and then became high definition 3D, and then there is holographic, translucent, where almost like you can see the image. It's so it's so fast that it's almost one. There's almost no separation. So you can have something projected into ruach, into midair. You can have an image, and they can play with that image. They can project onto that image. That's how this way of that they perfected that it evolved into. So too, the phone has also evolved, and the message you're receiving is almost can fake, not God forbid, almost it's clipper, but it can fake that level of oneness, that level of connection, that level of almost zero separation, and it can affect that. It can imitate that, so to speak. It can copy fake that. So the mind, the nefesh, becomes aligned with it. Almost it gets trapped in it. Nun shara klippe, nun shara timmer. It's that powerful. Yasi it's chamisha mama, gavay chamisha mama haman, making this tree 50 amas. In other words, he's like, I'm at level 50, and I'm gonna hang. He thought matchat tzadik, but but the point is that it's that level of oneness, it's that level of connection that we receive, that the message is flashing at us. And that's only successful because we're captivated animals. You don't know the level of light and the level of oneness that you, because only our great great grandfathers 2,000 years ago have experienced that level of oneness when the Beis Hamikdash was here. And then after on, of course, there was, but they got distorted because we don't even know what exists, what's real. But Adav Nitzchi is there forever to stay. So it's in the DNA. This Beis Hamikdash vibration. It's in the DNA. It's always there. It's deep, and the technology is, because it became so deviously precise. Therefore, it triggers something very precise. The precise light that's deep. It's only now an outline on the veins running through this Beis Hamikdash memory of feeling the oneness of Agdus and Simcha, and where there was just clear channels, because every day there was a carbon tummy that like cleared up the channels. In other words, whatever blockages that we're seeing, or whatever blockages that we're feeling and experiencing, judgments and all that was cleared. There was no bite. There was none of that, because the carbon tummy, Shvan Rabban, the Shilshacha, and the Menorah, forget it. It was clear channels. You were able to be fully aligned with your channel, with who you are, and with ultimately one of Chenikol Beis Yisrael, Kabbalah Yisrael. So that is here to trigger, snap that, to send that tzelem, that flash, and this is how you want to flip this over on the other side, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, technology is here. What are you going to do? You're going to throw it out? Yes, okay. But what if? What's okay? Is that really going to happen, or it's time to transmit that, to transform that into the message that's there? So that is Vayakil this week. That's happening this week, Shabbos. That we're getting zapped. The energies are being claimed back. Vayakil, it's coming all back. There's a strong magnetic field sending out, and everybody's coming back to Das. Coming back to, you will experience a flash of Das, a flash of presence and upgrade. Now, we hope that when Purim comes, that you can enter, because it's such a powerful day, that we're going to Kodesh Kodesh Yom Kippurim, that you can pray and tap into that, to make contact with that flash that we're receiving this week, this upgrade of Das. This is before, and then comes the counting, and the kid is more poikit. It's more than counting, not just counting. Of course, Das, then the other schava, and then comes Vayak, and then comes Pekideh. Yeah, okay. So Shabbos Kolam, we should all give our machtas a shekel. And we should be besimcha. I don't want to say we should be zoicha. That's too typical. We got to be more creative. We should be enlightened to the we should be enlightened to this das that's coming this week. Chodesh Adar, Shabbos Mavarchim. Well, like Shabbos Mavarchim, we're benching. We're going into the next month, Adar Beis. So Shabbos Mavarchim, Parshas Vayakil, and all the good stuff. Have an awesome Shabbos.